Hi friends, Michele here. This is a totally different video from all the others that I've ever posted. And as I'm recording this, I don't even know for sure if I want to post it. But I really was thinking last night and kind of felt the urge to talk more candidly. And not that the other stuff that I normally share isn't authentic. It really is. That side of me, that creativity and that sharing that passion for creativity with you is genuinely who I am. But there's just so much more under the surface that I don't really allude to. And maybe it's more cathartic for me to get a chance to be real and just talk to you in a way that shares more of who I am, aside from the manicured post. And you get my drift. So I just wanted to sit down and talk to you and share a little bit more about who I am and some of the struggles, some of the things that have been on my mind. I am talking to you because I don't really have anyone else that I can talk to about this. I mean, not that I don't have friends. I think I'm just looking to see if there's anyone else out there that can relate to some of these feelings. Being a business owner, being an entrepreneur in general is amazing, but it's also extremely challenging. And there are so many times when it's really, really lonely. And I don't want to come off like I'm complaining. I feel very fortunate for all the experiences that I've had over the last 20 years. But moving forward, there's a part of me that just can't deny this sense of constant questioning and confusion, straight up confusion. Sometimes that happens when you're going at it alone to forge a path and no one sets the plan in front of you. It's all up to you. And it's really easy to second guess yourself. And that's something that I think anyone who's done anything for themselves or been in business before, that they can relate to. There's just uncertainty that comes with that life. And I do a really good job for the most part at handling that, but there comes days where I just get tired. I guess there's no other way to really explain it. Just tired of having to make the decisions and just wishing that there was someone else or there were some other thing that could just tell me what the right choice was for once. So yeah, I've just been kind of feeling like that lately. But I wanted to share a little bit more about who I am and why I'm here and why I'm doing what I'm doing, and just kind of get to know each other a little more. The last 20 years have been an incredible, wild ride. I've always been a natural born creative. I grew up in a family where my father was an entrepreneur, my mom was an artist. And so naturally, being the oldest child, being the first to kind of go away to college and forge my own path, it just felt natural that I pursue a profession in the arts. And so I went to school for ceramics, which, real practical choice there. I guess, I don't know. The school that I went to had a really great program, and I enjoyed working in porcelain, and went to school not really having any sort of an idea of what I was going to do afterwards, because I think, does anyone at that age? And I wish I would have taken more business classes, and I, shoulda, coulda, woulda. There's all these, looking back on it, but at the time it was fantastic. And I was fortunate enough right out of college to catch a couple really big breaks. I set up a ceramic studio in my home and had a few of my products, a few of my designs really take off thanks to the internet. This is 2005. At the time, Etsy was in its infancy. Not anything like it is today. This was really a cutting edge marketplace for makers at that time. And building up that Etsy shop it propelled my business into this almost runaway train for the next 15 years. I call it a runaway train because I kind of had no idea how the hell I got on it, but I knew I couldn't jump off or I would die. And where it was going, I didn't really feel like I was in control of it. But hey, you know what? It was amazing. And building that online business, that e-commerce business for a good 10 years, and then expanding into retail stores. And of course, during this time, you know, I've got a personal life, marriage, had a couple kids, bought a few homes, expanded my businesses, started buying rentals. It was absolutely insane. Like, looking back, I don't even remember my 30s. It was like 10 years went by. And here I am now, talking to you guys. So how did I get here? Well, the Etsy business, the creative business, was fantastic. It was way more than just Etsy. That's just where it started. But as it expanded and it grew, you know, I got to lead teams of people. I had a couple storefronts downtown. I had an amazing ceramic studio on the lake. I pretty much achieved every goal that I set out to achieve when it came to that business. And by the time my third baby rolled around in 2018, I was really experiencing what I know now as a classic case of burnout. Being an entrepreneur, let alone being a mom of 3 young children, it's fucking intense, like all the time. It's just intense. And if you can relate, you can relate. If not, I don't even think there's any way to explain it, except that it's just intense all the time. And I was burnt out and started really thinking about where I wanted to go next, and didn't have enough of a push to make any sort of a change or a decision until 2020 rolled around. And we were all facing a global pandemic that changed everyone's life. And so why not make the choice to make a change, which is what I did. And I sold my businesses in 2020, and I was lucky to sell them on a high point where I put some money in the bank and bought myself a bit of time to kind of move and transition into the next thing. When I sold the businesses, I did it with this understanding that I would be jumping into and taking that momentum and carrying it into another business, which was a business that I started with my best friend, which this is a whole nother video, but looking back on it, there were probably some big red flags that I didn't see at the time. Emotion, clouds, or judgment. It was a very big lesson. I started a real estate brokerage with my best friend, and that was not out of the blue. Several years prior, I had gotten my real estate license and was part-time collaborating with a gentleman who I was very close with. We were pretty much like family. And so looking at the opportunity to sell in 2020 and move completely full-time into real estate, I felt like it was the right choice. And I wanted to do it in a way that had ultimate control. So we chose to build a brokerage from the ground up. And I kind of led the helm on the back end part of that business building, while my partner played another role. And unfortunately, going into it, I think we both had ideas of what it was and what we wanted it to be. And it wasn't long before, about a year into our venture, it didn't work out. We decided to go our separate ways. And we did so amicably. But our relationship was never the same after that. And to say that I was devastated would be an understatement. it felt like a divorce. And it was kind of, looking back, a really big eye-opening experience, because I came to understand that I was not ready to give up my identity, that I had grown, evolved, and intertwined so deeply with my businesses that I spent 15 years growing. And the only reason that I was so quick to kind of get out of that was because I was jumping into this other thing. And it wasn't until this other thing didn't work out, it wasn't until then that I realized just how broken and sad and lost I felt. And since that day, I have been trying to pick up the pieces and reinvent myself to what you see today. And I was very apprehensive to even share this, because one of my biggest fears is people thinking that I don't have my shit together. But in reality, most days, I feel like I don't have my shit together. And I just find it I find some levity in being able to put it out there and be honest, like, hey, I don't have it all figured out, and I'm still pivoting to try to figure it out. And I think we just need in life more of that relatability, because we only share the sides of us that we're proud to put out. And I think if we allow ourselves maybe to be more vulnerable and honest, that some good can come of that. At least that's what I'm hoping. So I don't have it all figured out. After my business with my partner dissolved, I spent a year continuing to sell real estate on my own before having a really big eye-opening experience that made me realize I was going down the wrong road, and that dissolving my partnership was for the best, because it was just, that was not the walk, that was not the path that I was meant to pursue. And at heart, I definitely am an artist. And after giving up my real estate license in 2023, I have never felt better about a decision ever in my entire life, because I am not that person. I'm just not. And as much as I went into it for the money, and because I was good at it and I enjoyed working with people, that was just not meant to be my path. So I stopped walking down it. And it was kind of an eye-opening experience to just be like, hey, you know what? You don't want to go that direction. Stop going that direction. And that's what I did. And it felt good. It felt right. And so I kind of took the momentum that I had in doing some content creation. I love digital marketing. I love working online. My business was built around it. And I went into content creation full time. And I did that because I was really excited to have a new medium to connect with people. I did not want to go back into being a maker, at least not right away. I just wasn't ready. It's really hard on your body working with your hands. And it's just, quite frankly, it's exhausting. It's just one of those things where you, I feel like I need to create, but when you create for a living, when you make things for a living, it takes some of the joy out of it. So being able to be creative on camera and share that with you has been just an incredible joy for me. And I hope to God I can make this business work. I'm very much in the beginning stages of building this business, and I've had some wins, but I've got a long ways to go, and it's exhausting. And I think any of my other fellow content creators can relate when I say there are plenty of times when you doubt yourself and you want to quit. But I've never been a quitter, and I don't plan on quitting, at least not yet. But yeah, I'm just maybe feeling a little tired and hoping for some clarity moving forward. So anyways, I appreciate you guys taking some time to listen. If you've gotten this far in the video, I really do appreciate listening to me kind of rant. I struggle a bit with direction and attention, and you can pretty much textbook categorize me as like the ADHD poster queen. I have a hard time even having a conversation that stays on track. I struggle with that stuff, but most of you guys don't see that. And so I just wanted to kind of be honest and put it out there that if you're feeling this way and you don't have your shit figured out, but you're trying, I see you. And keep going. Yeah. So if you can relate, let me know in the comments or leave a helpful tip if you're feeling the same way. And thank you for being here. I hope to learn and grow more with you in the future. So